During a lavish dinner, my sister dropped a bombshell. She was pregnant, and my husband was the father. But I had a secret of my own to unveil. You think you know those closest to you, believing certain boundaries are sacred, never to be crossed. I thought so too. My name is Elena, 29 years old, and this is the tale of how I learned some people will do anything to seize what they desire. It was a crisp Thursday in March when I got word of my promotion. After 4 years as a project manager at a tech firm in Austin, Texas, I was named commercial director. I was beaming at the office, unable to contain my joy. I called Lucas, my husband, and Sophia, my younger sister, to share the news. "Let's celebrate at Terzo tonight," I proposed. Terzo was an upscale Italian restaurant where a meal cost more than a day's minimum wage, but I could afford it. I'd earned this. I arrived first, wearing the navy blue dress Lucas always said looked stunning on me. I picked a secluded corner table for privacy. The dining room buzzed with executives and elegant couples, an atmosphere where I felt at ease after years of climbing the corporate ladder. When I saw Lucas and Sophia arrive together, something felt off. Sophia glowed with a smile I hadn't seen in ages, while Lucas seemed jittery, uneasy in such a pricey venue. There was a strange tension in the air I couldn't pinpoint. "Congrats on the promotion, Elena," Sophia said, hugging me with an unusual warmth. She was rarely so affectionate, especially with me. We ordered a $200 bottle of Chianti, and I began sharing details of the new projects I'd lead, my 40% salary bump, and the prospects for global expansion. Sophia listened too intently, while Lucas fidgeted with his napkin. Then, mid-sentence, Sophia cut in, "Actually, we have news too." She grabbed Lucas's hand across the table, and my stomach churned for no clear reason. "I'm pregnant." Time froze. The restaurant's hum faded to a distant buzz, lights seemed to dim, and I stared at their intertwined hands as if they were a hallucination. Pregnant. Sophia was carrying Lucas's child. "I know it's complicated," Lucas said, his voice strained, speaking for the first time since arriving. "But it happened, and we fell in love." They watched me, a mix of anticipation and barely concealed glee, as if expecting me to erupt, scream, or give the other diners a spectacle to gossip about. But I was paralyzed, just staring. My sister, whom I'd helped fund through college when our parents couldn't, sat there, hand in hand with my husband, pregnant, announcing this on the day of my triumph. "How long?" I asked, my voice eerily calm. 3 months, Sophia replied, caressing her still flat belly. "It started right after your birthday." My birthday was in December. It was May. 3 months of deceit, lies, and them mocking me while I slaved 12-hour days for this promotion I wanted to celebrate with those I loved. "Elena, say something," Lucas urged. For the first time in years, I truly saw him, the man I'd been married to for 4 years. He looked relieved, as if unburdened, as if this confession freed him. "What do you want me to say?" I asked, my voice foreign to my ears. "Congratulations." Sophia let out a nervous but genuine laugh. "Look, Elena, I know it's tough, but these things happen. Love is love, right? And the baby," she touched her stomach again, "the baby needs both parents." I slowly grabbed my purse, placed 2 $50 bills on the table, more than enough for my share, and stood. "I'm going home. Do what you want." As I walked out, Lucas called after me, but I didn't look back. In the restaurant's mirror, I saw their reflections still seated. Sophia was smiling. Growing up, Sophia lived in my shadow, and it gnawed at her. I was the older, responsible daughter acing school effortlessly. She was the younger, pampered one, shielded by our parents, yet it was never enough. We grew up middle class in San Antonio. Our father was an accountant at an oil firm, our mother an elementary school teacher. We weren't wealthy, but we wanted for nothing. Still, Sophia always felt entitled to more. When I earned a full scholarship to study business at the University of Texas, she called it rich girl's luck. When I graduated with honors and landed a multinational internship in Austin, she said I knew how to sell myself. When I bought my first apartment at 25, she questioned if I was too ambitious. The worst part? She believed she deserved my successes without the grind, as if they came from luck, not sweat. Sophia studied graphic design at a public university, graduated unremarkably, and hopped between jobs, always griping that her bosses overlooked her talent. Our parents tried to level the playing field. When I bought my Honda Civic, They got her a used car. When I started earning well, they increased her rent assistance for her small San Antonio apartment. It was as if they were offsetting my achievements to keep her afloat. She'd ask about my salary, investments, and apartment value, calling it sisterly curiosity. But her probing intensity unnerved me. Now I saw it wasn't curiosity. It was envy laced with greed I'd ignored. When I met Lucas at a work event 5 years ago, Sophia said he wasn't my type. Handsome and kind, he sold cars at a BMW dealership, earning about $5,000 a month with commissions, decent for Texas, but dwarfed by my $8,000, soon $12,000 salary. Still, I fell for him. His humor and warmth eased my stressful days. Lucas's simplicity charmed me, a contrast to my constant forward planning. Sophia was polite to him, but I sensed tension, especially when bills arrived during group outings. Lucas felt awkward when I paid for $100 per person dinners or $200 concert tickets. Sophia watched with a calculating gaze I chose to overlook. "You support him, don't you?" she asked once at an Olive Garden family lunch when Lucas stepped away. "I don't support him," I snapped, annoyed. "We split things based on our incomes." It was true, Lucas covered groceries, gas, and some bills. I handled the rest. It worked for us. But to Sophia, it was proof I had too much luck. A stellar career, a chic Austin apartment, a devoted husband, growing investments, as if I hadn't fought for it all. Home that night, my apartment was unchanged. Bed made, dishes clean, everything in place. It was surreal how life could implode while objects stayed the same. Lucas's toothbrush, clothes, and tacky Dallas Cowboys mug from a dealership promo were still there. I sat on my beige leather sofa, still in my dress and heels, staring blankly. My mind was oddly silent, emotions shut off, like the numbness after bumping your elbow. Lucas didn't come home, unsurprisingly. At 2 a.m., a text. "I'm at Saf's house. We'll talk tomorrow." He called her Saf, as if they'd been close for years, as if I was irrelevant, our 4-year marriage a mere hurdle. I paced the 120-square-meter apartment all night, questioning how I'd missed the signs. Were there signs? Lucas's recent late nights, Sophia's questions about my schedule, their arrival together at Terzo like it was normal. In hindsight, Sophia had been in Austin often lately, claiming client visits. As a freelance graphic designer, that seemed plausible, but Austin was only 90 minutes from San Antonio. Why stay in hotels? Why not crash on my couch like before? At sunrise, I was still on the sofa, dress wrinkled, makeup smudged. My iPhone showed 17 missed calls from my mother. Sophia had likely spun a romantic tale to her, casting them as star-crossed lovers fated to meet through me. I called work, saying I wouldn't be in. Isabel, my assistant, sensed trouble in my voice but didn't pry. "Call if you need me, Elena. You never miss work. This must be big." She was one of the few I trusted fully. In the shower, trying to rinse off the night's grime, I finally cried, not dramatic sobs, but the weary tears of losing my sister and husband, the two I loved most, to a cruel betrayal. Post-shower, 3 texts from Sophia. "Elena, we need to talk. It wasn't meant to come out like this. Call me. I know it's hard, but we can handle this like adults." I deleted them without replying. For the first time in years, I did nothing productive all day, watched Netflix, ordered $40 cold Chinese food, ignored my ringing phone. I needed a day to grasp that my life had flipped overnight. That evening, Lucas came for clothes, still using his keys, acting entitled to enter my solely purchased apartment. He tried to explain while packing. "It wasn't planned, Elena. It just happened." As if betrayal were a random storm. Saf was struggling, needed someone. "How long?" I asked, watching him fold polo shirts I'd bought him at Nordstrom. "Since January. 4 months. 4 months of lies, fake kisses, hollow I love yous before bed while I worked 60-hour weeks for my promotion, envisioning our future." "I'm getting a lawyer," I said, sitting on the king-sized bed I'd bought. Lucas paused, looking at me. "Elena, it doesn't have to be like this. We can settle this civilly, split things fairly." Civilly, fairly, as if he had any claim to what I'd built. After he left with 2 suitcases, promising to return for the rest, I called Camilla, my college friend and a Houston family law attorney. I recounted everything, voice steady. She listened, then sighed. "Elena, I'm so sorry. You loved him and trusted your sister. On the divorce. Bring all marriage documents, bank statements, deeds, income proof, investments, everything. I'll build the strongest case. Camilla, I don't care about money. I just want this over. Don't say that. You fought for what you have. You're not giving it to a traitor. Do you know your assets' worth? I didn't exactly, but it was significant. A $400,000 apartment, $100,000 in investments, a $50,000 startup stake, and my new $16,000 monthly salary. We set a meeting for the next week. Then I remembered I needed to organize documents. Who plans for divorce when happily married? In my home office, I kept everything in color-coded folders, control-obsessed. Bank statements, tax returns, Fidelity and Charles Schwab records. It was striking to see my achievements at 29 on paper. I was proud, yet it felt fragile, vulnerable to betrayal and a messy divorce. In the green folder with marriage documents, birth certificate, Travis County marriage certificate, I paused. Something about the property regime caught my eye. Separate property, complete asset separation. Why complete? Most Texas couples chose partial community property. Then it hit me, a dusty memory, a prenuptial agreement I'd insisted on 4 years ago. I rushed to the bedroom closet safe, nearly forgetting the combination, my birthday reversed. Among the apartment deed and passport was a sealed envelope from the Travis County clerk's office. Prenuptial agreement, Elena Santos Silva and Lucas Olivivera Furrer. My hands shook as I opened it. I vaguely recalled pushing for this, but details were fuzzy. 4 years ago, I was so in love, legalities felt like formalities to cement our bond. But at 2 a.m., clutching those law firm letterhead pages, I felt a flicker of hope. Maybe I wouldn't lose everything. Maybe these papers shielded me from my sister's greed and Lucas's recklessness. I took a deep breath, switched on the bedside lamp, and read every word like it held my future. The memory rewound like a film. It was a sunny April Saturday, 2 weeks before our wedding. At 25, I just signed for my $350,000 downtown Austin loft. Lucas was stressed about wedding costs. $15,000 for catering, $8,000 for a photographer, $12,000 for decor. It's a lot, Elena. It was, especially for his $4,000 monthly dealership salary. For me, fresh off a promotion to $12,000 a month, it was an investment in our day. I understood his worry. He grew up counting every penny. Lucas, relax. I'll cover most of it. You contribute what you can. It's about us celebrating love. That's when I brought up the prenup, not from distrust, but as protection for my growing assets. My lawyer, Dr. Vivian Torres, had advised it during the apartment purchase. Elena, you're young, successful, building wealth fast. A prenup is smart, especially with asset disparities. It's not doubt, it's protection. When I mentioned it to Lucas one Tuesday night, he laughed, nearly choking on his Shiner Bock. Prenup, that's rich people stuff. We love each other, Elena. Love doesn't need papers. That's for couples planning divorce. It's not about love, Lucas. It's legal protection for us both. Nothing will go wrong, he cut in, grabbing my hand. We'll be happy forever. You're paranoid, baby. He didn't get it but agreed when I said it would ease my mind. If it's important to you, fine, but you're overcomplicating love. We visited Dr. Torres' office that Thursday. Lucas, hungover from a bachelor's night out, arrived 15 minutes late, grumbling about a lost sale. Sorry, Elena had to come from work. Johnson wanted to close a deal. Dr. Torres, a poised 50-year-old in impeccable suits, explained with practiced patience. Complete separation of assets. Each keeps their individual property. No division in divorce unless jointly acquired with clear proof. She looked at Lucas. This protects both. Future assets stay yours too. Understand? I watched his dazed look. Yeah, each keeps their stuff, right? Makes sense. He didn't grasp it. Lucas avoided legal or financial complexity, joking I was too uptight about money. Yet he signed the 15 pages of dense text, covering properties, investments, businesses, inheritance, like it was a grocery list. Now you can marry in peace, Dr. Torres said, stamping copies. Hope I never see you here again. Driving back in my Civic, Lucas remarked, This contract's weird, but if it calms you, fine. In 2 weeks, we're married forever. He didn't realize he'd waived rights to my assets. I in love and sure we'd last didn't care about his inattention. Love trumped papers, right? We share everything, be partners. The contract was a formality we'd never need. How naive I was. Now 4 years later, at 3 a.m. with the contract in hand, I saw the value of that rich people nonsense. I read each page like a lifeline. The one-still legal terms gleamed like gems. Complete separation of property. Each spouse retains ownership of all property owned before and during marriage. My pre-marriage apartment, monthly investments, startup stake, all mine. In dissolution, no property division, each keeps their assets. Lucas had no claim to anything I'd built. I searched for loopholes he could exploit, but the contract was airtight. Dr. Tours had been flawless. Spousal support waiver, both parties waive rights to alimony or maintenance. Lucas, earning less, couldn't even claim support. I smiled for the first time in days, a small, real smile. He'd signed his financial doom 4 years ago, clueless. And Sophia, thinking Lucas was her ticket to wealth. What irony. More clauses, individual debt responsibility, separate business interests, unshared intellectual property, family inheritances protected. It was bulletproof armor. Lucas had no claim, and I wasn't liable for his debts, like his financed Ford F-150 or high-limit credit card. I listed my assets: $400,000 apartment, $100,000 in stocks, $50,000 startup stake, $40,000 in savings, $20,000 car, over $600,000 at 29, all mine. My new $16,000 monthly salary, plus up to $20,000 quarterly bonuses, dwarfed Lucas's $4,000,5,000. I smiled again. Sophia had miscalculated, seducing Lucas for a fortune that wasn't his. I recalled last Christmas when she vented, "Elena, it's frustrating seeing you with everything, apartment, car, trips, while I scrape by." It wasn't frustration, it was scheming. She saw Lucas as her shortcut to my life, not love. I recalled overhearing Lucas on the balcony. "Not the right time, she suspects, I need to be sure." I thought it was a sale. Now I knew it was Sophia, planning their reveal. The Terzo dinner was theater, chosen on my promotion day to maximize my humiliation, expecting me to beg Lucas back. They didn't know about the prenup. Over the weekend, I strategized. Monday, I called Camilla. "This contract's legal art. Lucas gets nothing. Divorce in 60 days if uncontested. He's screwed." "I want a civilized talk with them," I said, "to see their faces when they learn." "Risky, Elena, just file." They humiliated me publicly. I want my turn. 3 weeks post-TERS, Lucas collected his things, Sophia tagging along like a guard. My mother called daily, treating betrayal like a fixable spat. "Elena, Lucas is a good boy. Sophia's pregnant, think of the baby." The baby, her excuse to steal my life. "Mom, we're divorcing, end of story." She thought Lucas deserved half, swayed by Sophia's tales of my selfishness. Week 4, I called Sophia. She answered instantly. "Elena, so glad you called." "Hi, Soph. I've thought it over. You're right, no grudges. We're adults. Love happens and there's the baby." Silence, she hadn't expected this. "Really, you're okay?" "Trying to be. Can we meet to settle things civilly? Dinner at Terzo for closure." She laughed nervously. Lucas will be relieved. He feared drama. No drama, Saturday night. I hung up smiling. I prepped like an actress, black dress for control, practiced calm expressions. Camilla warned, "Risky, Elena, just notify them. They planned my public downfall. They deserve this." At Terzo, 8 p.m., same table. The maitre d' hoped for a happier night. Lucas and Sophia arrived relaxed, hand in hand, Sophia's dress showing her small bump. "Elena, you look beautiful," she said, hugging me. "Thanks, how's the pregnancy?" "Great. Lucas wants Michael for a boy. I like Gabriel." Lucas pulled her chair, a rare gesture. "Elena, thanks for talking peacefully." We ordered the same Chianti, the irony thick. They thought they'd won. Lucas spoke. "For the divorce, let's do it amicably, split things fairly." "Fairly," I echoed. "What's fair?" They glanced at each other, rehearsed. "Sell the apartment, split 50-50. Investments too. Alimony will help with Soph and the baby." Alimony for him and my sister's child. I reached into my purse, their eyes expectant, thinking I'd pull divorce papers. Instead, I placed the yellowed prenup envelope on the table. Before we discuss division, something you forgot. Lucas frowned. What's that? Our prenup, Lucas. You called it rich people nonsense. His face paled. Sophia looked lost. You made a prenup. Yes, and Lucas signed it blindly. I laid out the pages. Complete separation of assets. Know what that means. Lucas's hands shook, scanning words he hadn't grasped 4 years ago. Calm down, Elena, Sophia said, confidence fading. There's still community property. Not with complete separation, I said, pointing. Each keeps all property before and during marriage. This can't be legal, Lucas protested. The apartment investments I lived there contributed. You paid $300 for groceries and gas. I paid $1,800 financing, $200 condo fees, utilities. That doesn't claim a $400,000 apartment. Sophia flipped pages, seeking a loophole. But alimony. I smiled. Page 5, Section 3, Spousal Support Waiver. Lucas waived alimony. I didn't know what I signed, he shouted, drawing eyes. You tricked me. Tricked? The lawyer explained. You said you understood. It's registered. Sophia's face turned to horror. He gets nothing. Zero, zilch. His pickup clothes debts. Lucas slumped. Elena, you can't leave me with nothing. I've got a kid. You've got a kid to support on your salary, which child support will strain. Child support, Sophia whispered. In Texas, 20% of net income. Lucas's $5,000 gross is $3,800 net. 20% is $760 monthly till the kid's 18, plus medical, daycare, clothes, school. They hadn't calculated this. Sophia did math. $3,400 net after support, plus her $2,000 freelance income, $5, $400 for 3. Where'll you live? I asked. My San Antonio apartment, she mumbled. That $801 bedroom, tight for a baby. Silence. Lucas tried. Elena, we hurt you, but... You tried to rob me, thinking I'd hand over half my $600,000 because you're in love. $600,000, Sophia gasped. Surprise, I'm richer than you thought. My promotion means $16,000 monthly while you scrape for diapers. Lucas buried his face. I'm an idiot. We agree. Sophia played her last card. Elena, we're sisters, family, your niece or nephew. Family doesn't betray, humiliate, or seduce for greed. I stood, leaving two $50 bills. Your lawyers can call Camilla Reyes in Houston. Lucas tried to follow. Elena, wait. No, you waited 4 months to tell me, chose my promotion night to humiliate me. Now you wait to learn poverty. At the door, I turned. Maybe now you'll see why I protect what's mine. I left, hearing Sophia cry, Lucas cursing. In my car, I savored satisfaction. They tried to ruin me and ruined themselves. Camilla called. How was the show? Better than Broadway. Their faces priceless. File tomorrow. Monday. In 60 days, I'm free and they're poor. I drove home, smiling wider than in years. 6 months later, life was a new normal I hadn't imagined. The divorce finalized in 60 days. Lucas didn't contest, likely advised he'd lose. Camilla was flawless. I was single by July. Via social media and mom's updates, I watched Lucas and Sophia's slow-motion crash. Lucas's dealership job suffered, luxury car sales tanked. His income dropped to $3,500 monthly. He's struggling, Mom said. Baby support leaves little. Bobbies are costly, I replied, unsympathetic. Isabella, born in September, had Lucas's eyes, Sophia's stubbornness. Her $800 monthly support drained Lucas's pay. Sophia moved to our parents' San Antonio home. Her 1-bedroom couldn't fit a family. Our retired parents on Dad's pension now supported 3 adults and a baby. Sophia struggles for clients with a baby, Mom said. Lucas is exhausted, commuting Austin to San Antonio. He couldn't transfer jobs, burning gas he couldn't afford. He wants to talk, Mom said. Nothing to resolve, I replied. I'd thrived. Post-divorce, my energy soared. As commercial director, I smashed first-quarter goals, earning $22,000 monthly with bonuses. My startup stake tripled. In October, I sold my apartment for $500,080 profit and bought a $700,000 $2 floor Austin loft with a lakeview terrace. I spent $200,000 on renovations, German kitchen, automation, gym, office, making the cover of Austin Home and Design. "This is a movie house," Isabel said. "You're the American dream." At 30, I had over $1 million net worth, a global career, and freedom. I traveled solo to Paris, Rome, Barcelona, first class, top hotels, dining at Michelin-starred spots, shopping without price tags. Loneliness didn't hit. After betrayal, solitude was addictive. I started therapy with Dr. Diana Ortiz, not for grief but growth. "You've always cared for others, sister, parents, ex," she said. "Who cares for you?" I cried for 15 minutes. I'd been the provider, never tended to. "Put yourself first," she urged. I did. Holiday season brought Sophia's messages. "Elena, we're sisters. Isabella's your niece. Help with baby stuff. Expenses are high, diapers, medicine. Please, you're the only one who can afford it." I read, didn't reply, and blocked her after the 10th. Mom mediated. "The child's innocent. Sophia chose this. I'm not their bank. But you have so much." I earned and protected it. She should have thought before picking a $4,000 a month man. Harsh, but needed. My family saw me as their ATM. No more. For my 30th birthday, I threw a loft party. 50 guests, French champagne, live music. On the terrace with Dom Perignon, Austin's lights glowing, I felt gratitude. For Lucas's betrayal, showing my strength. For the prenup, saving me from legal wars. Even for Sophia's greed, teaching me not all family deserves loyalty. Post-birthday, Dad called. "Lucas lost his job, year-end cuts. It's tough with 4 at home." I felt guilt. My parents were blameless. "Dad, I'll pay your bills, electric, groceries, Isabella's doctor, but not Lucas or Sophia directly." He accepted. I paid $200 electric, $300 groceries, $150 pediatric visits, small for me, vital for them. Lucas got a job at a smaller dealership, earning half his old pay. Sophia freelanced sporadically, limited by Isabella. They moved to a $500 monthly San Antonio trailer park. "They fight over money," Dad said. "Lucas blames Sophia for the divorce. She blames him for job loss." Predictable, greed-fueled unions crumble under financial strain. 2 years post-betrayal, I was transformed. I learned to say no guilt-free, that self-worth is non-negotiable, that some can't love, only exploit. I dated Daniel, an architect with his own success. Our bond was equal, not dependent. "You're strong yet peaceful," he said over dinner on my terrace. I was. I needed no approval, no freeloaders. Isabella turned 2. I hadn't met her. Mom's photos showed a beautiful child. Friends called me harsh. "She's your niece." "I have family," I'd say. "Parents, true friends, not just blood." Isabel, Camilla, Dr. Ortiz were truer than Sophia ever was. On the betrayal's 3rd anniversary, Lucas texted, "You were right about everything, me, Sophia, the money. I ruined the best thing I had. Hope you're happy." No satisfaction or anger, just closure. I deleted it. At 32, that Terzo night was life's greatest gift, revealing my true self, unexploited, underestimated. I'm now executive director, earning $300,000 yearly with a $2 million net worth. I travel globally, love healthily, and know true love doesn't steal peace, money, or dignity. Lucas and Sophia scrape by in their trailer park, fighting over scarce funds. Isabella grows in their financial strain. Guilt flickers. Should I feel bad with my wealth? Then I recall their calculated plot to ruin me. Their miscalculation isn't my fault. I built my life with work, smarts, and protection. They sought a shortcut via betrayal and hit a dead end. Self-worth and dignity are non-negotiable. Not all family deserves loyalty. Underestimated people can stun, and the best revenge is thriving while betrayers face their choices. My story isn't revenge. It's justice, protecting what's mine, and learning that cutting off exploiters fuels an extraordinary life.